Black Rabbit, the bunny-eared idol group, ended their live stream, thanked the audience, urged them to follow, and declared they would win the guild rank championship. After the stream, Luce put his arm around Rise, advising her to ignore negative comment. Rise still worried because fans were confused when the group switched to serious competition. Rise clenched her fist. She hated being misunderstood and wanted to prove that Black Rabbit was not only cute but also strong, promising to give their all to meet fans' expectations. The two girls rushed down the tower's spiral staircase, determined to help Black Rabbit win the decisive guild rank match and prove their strength. In the stone corridor, Rise analyzed that this was the enemy's three-dimensional home ground. Headsman, the masked bird figure, appeared, challenging and blocking their path. Headsman retreated deeper into the tower. Rise urged Luce to follow, but as they looked up, they realized an ambush. The enemy's spear flashed through the magical smoke. Suddenly, the spiral staircase collapsed. Luce and the group fell into the dust. Headsman calmly said it was enough to block just one person. Rise quickly assessed the situation. Luce couldn't continue, so only she and Leona could find a way to the main flagpole. Rise ordered support from above. The opponent launched a relentless attack. Rise and Leona coordinated to dodge strikes, trying to hold their ground in the dangerous fight within the tight space. The enemy was a sharpshooter wielding dual guns. Leona fired back but was overwhelmed. A new teammate appeared to help, a girl with orange hair named Neon. Neon shot at the staircase, forcing the enemy to fall. Leona nearly lost her balance. The enemy's strategy was clearly a deadly trap in the confined space. A Black Rabbit member caught the enemy and called to take down the healer. Rise was pulled down. Bianca, the long-haired girl with bunny ears, became the next target. Bianca shouted fiercely to protect Leona from being taken down, ordering a retreat to the corridor. While Leona ran, Neon got angry at being ignored and the enemy mocked. The commentator narrated, the race to the tower's summit was intense. Rise refuted claims that the opponent wasn't serious, declaring Black Rabbit fought with pure passion. At the tower's peak, the two sides faced off. One side stayed silent, refusing to justify themselves. The other declared no need for fake apologies, only fair fighting. Rise decided this would be Black Rabbit's final decisive match. Though the opponent was a former ally, she chose to face them with full force. Both sides jumped out the window, landing on the tower's summit. Rise smiled. This stage is too big for just one dancer, signaling the final battle was about to begin. The commentator shouted, both have reached the top. The final match to decide victory between the attackers was about to start on the tower's peak. The final battle erupted on the tower's summit. The red-black duo worked seamlessly, neither side willing to give up control. Attacks were sharper than before. With only 47 seconds left, the opponent realized Rise's power had surged dramatically when fighting alongside Bianca. Rise's opponent mentioned Crimson, who was singled out by Sol Leon. Rise admitted she had also been designated, but it was for the whole guild, not personally. On the scoreboard, the entire Skyrunners team was eliminated simultaneously. Rise and Leona were stunned, unable to understand what happened to the opposing team. Neon shouted for Rise and ran over. Bianca was confused. The opponent's reaction didn't seem like acting. The confirmed death was real, not simulated. One of the enemies shouted, Takabana, now's the time, ordering to take down Rise and Neon. Bianca was shocked and stunned by the name Takabana appearing amid chaos. Crimson suddenly revealed that the news of the entire opposing team being wiped out was just a trick. Neon lost balance from surprise, while Bianca angrily shouted in frustration. Takabana's team laughed at the spectacular deception. Neon protested, no more tricks. Meanwhile, Takabana boasted that the new automatic pod trap was the real MVP. Neon smiled brightly, saying she had never been this happy even when PKing. The others clearly felt this was her most genuine side. They sat together watching the night sky. The whole group admitted they had been gaming together for nearly 10 years. Though they sometimes went long without meeting, every reunion was truly meaningful. Everyone wondered why Bianca fought so well with Crimson. Some guessed she had rekindled her old passion, the love she once had for gaming. One member revealed that they weren't always a PK guild. Black Rabbit used to be a cooperative PvP group, but over time and with growing up, their playstyle changed. The friends realized Bianca once considered quitting the game, but after the headhunt incident, she gradually regained her fighting spirit like in her prime 10 years ago. With only 40 seconds left, the match was intense. Crimson sensed that Bianca's movements and aura had completely changed, as if she were a different person. Bianca used an illusion clone skill to lead the team's counterattack. She smiled softly, but her sharp gaze was as fierce as anyone. Bianca attacked boldly, beaming brightly. When asked about her fighting style, she replied, if I had to describe it, it's tango. In the cafeteria, Bianca overheard two colleagues discussing taking leave and choosing careers before Destiny Unchained Online's launch day. A few female coworkers passed by, mocking adults who were obsessed with games and spent money on gacha, making Bianca quietly stare out the window. After work, feeling a bit lonely, Bianca took a hot shower, proud that she had accurately predicted the duo quarterfinals. Wrapped in a wet cloak, she told herself she just needed the strength to take take down the headhunter, then froze at a voice message from her mother. Her mother's gentle voice asked about work and scolded Bianca for not coming home often, making her remove her hat to reveal tired yet resilient features. Her mother advised her to quit gaming soon and find a real-life anchor. Bianca gazed into the distance, torn between virtual dreams and family expectations. Bianca stood still in the dark, her in-game avatar reflected behind her, affirming, "This is more than just a game." She disconnected from her mother, feeling heavy-hearted as memories of childhood and the growing distance between two worlds weighed on her. Lying on her bed with faint light filtering through the curtains, Bianca wondered if she should return to reality or not. In the game, Bianca recalled the beautiful days gone by and questioned when adults playing games became something strange. Back in battle, Bianca firmly scolded her teammates, telling them not to worry about adults but to focus on swinging their weapons. With the situation critical and Lies at a disadvantage, Bianca risked climbing the bell tower, hopping to regroup with Mebius and Luce. Bianca and her team boldly destroyed the bell tower, causing the flag to vanish in the smoke and throwing the battle into chaos. The duo system was explained: if the support platform is lost, the flag falls, but because the bell was too large, a glitch caused the flag to disappear. Amid the chaos, Mebius's side realized Leona was still alive and ordered the whole team to gather on the lowest floor. On their way to regroup, Bianca's team was ambushed inside the tower. The enemy declared this their home ground and launched a fierce counterattack. In the cramped space inside the tower, Bianca's group struggled as they couldn't summon weapons due to depleted MP, making things worse. One member confidently said, "That won't happen again," sparking hope when they saw the enemy seemed to be chasing them. Lies wavered, doubting if the enemy had given up, but teammates pointed out that the one truly scared was Lies herself. Pushed into a corner, Lies was reminded by her teammates that victory was the goal and not to let emotions take over. Just then, an enemy with a huge scythe suddenly appeared through the dust, stunning Lies' group. Bianca confronted the enemy and declared, "You'll fight me." The two prepared for a tense one-on-one battle. Bells rang, smoke thickened, and broken bricks filled the air. Inside the tower felt like hell as Neon risked everything to jump into the chaos to save teammates. Neon arrived just in time, teaming up with allies to form a 3-on-1 stance, trying to hold back the enemy who was overpowering everyone. In close combat, Neon seized an opportunity to strike the enemy's arm, leaving both sides stunned by the unexpected move. Cream was seriously injured, unable to continue using the Great Spear, putting the whole team in extreme danger as their MP was also depleted. The enemy seized the opportunity, launching an attack aimed at Cream. Neon shouted in response, determined not to let her teammate fall right before her eye. Leona reappeared at the critical moment, ordering a full encirclement and emphasizing that without teamwork, the risk of total defeat was very real. Leona was hit by the Angel's Death Circle skill and seemed unable to avoid the finishing blow. Leona was officially defeated. The group was horrified to realize the enemy had reached an unstoppable level. The enemy praised Bianca's team as prodigies for continuously adapting and growing stronger during the battle. Noticing the enemy had just thrown down their weapons, Neon and Mebius took advantage to counterattack from above with overwhelming force. The Zone Blood skill was activated, creating numerous sharp spikes that trapped the enemy's feet and caused the whole group to stall. During the attack, Bianca realized she had been lured into a fake tank skill trap, putting her at a disadvantage before the counterattack. As the fire trap dissipated, Cream noticed there were still hidden traps and quickly twisted midair to dodge a lurking sword. The unarmed enemy ignored the tanker, but a shockwave from the tunnel flung Cream high up, and the HP destroy effect exploded right in front of her. Bianca, Mebius, and Leona cheered beneath the collapsing tower. The mage Luce was too weak to climb. Now only Neon and Cream remained in the fight. Wounded badly, Cream charged forward, shouting Neon's name. She believed if she fell, Team Blue would surely lose. Neon pushed Cream aside with a frown. "That's all the noise you've got." The angel wielding a spear aimed a counterattack through the broken rail. Smiling softly, Neon stabbed with her spear. The skull emblem glowed, activating HP Destroy, avenging a previous prank and landing the third headhunt kill. Neon leapt down from the tall tower to chase Cream, who was falling. Bianca shouted loudly, declaring, as long as Cream was finished off, victory was theirs. Bianca climbed the rope to the flag, her body weakening with no energy left to recover. She suspected Luce, the enemy mage, was being held back by her own teammates. Stepping on an ice trap, Bianca froze halfway. With 28 seconds left on the countdown, she realized she was being trapped by the enemy to seize the flag. Headsman suddenly charged in for an ambush, but Bianca used the Reflective Mirage illusion spell to deceive the attack and appeared in the opposite direction. Cream shouted loudly if they could take down Bianca now, everything would change. She unleashed Ruby Calamity, while Headsman was still bound for 2 seconds. Headsman exploded right after Bianca's final call. The finishing blow triggered HP Dead, wiping him out of the battle. Cream eliminated Headsman, Relaxation, thrilled to have only one opponent left. She immediately aimed carefully, preparing to finish with an area attack. Luz received bad news from the tower. Headsman had fallen. She worried now only she, Ricorus, and Bianca remained alive. Bianca survived in a puddle, gasping for breath. Her leg was broken, gun damaged, and her body no longer able to fight. Cream advanced, declaring she would finish it, but Bianca stood her ground, struggling to rise despite being overwhelmed. Ricorus blocked Bianca's path, saying only she could face Luz. Both were leaders and unwilling to let their team lose. Cream recalled the past and teammates who had left. Even though this world was just virtual, she still wanted to give it her all. Bianca thought if this was the final match, even if she was just stalling for time, she would still be happy knowing she fought with all her heart. In the last moments, Luz launched a finishing attack on Bianca. Bianca's HP was completely drained after that strike. Cream froze, no damage. Everyone was shocked. A large gate opened from the center of the arena. Luz appeared just in time, raising a white flag and smiling. She had won and led her team into the semifinal. Luz helped Bianca up gently, saying their team was already very solid. Bianca smiled in agreement. Cream was embraced by the whole group in celebration. Leona cheered, "We made it to the semi-finals." The team was overjoyed, buzzing with victory. Fans and commentators praised the match. Meanwhile, Ricorus accidentally said something that made the bunny-eared girl blush deeply. Cream cried out, "We lost," her pent-up emotions bursting forth, unable to accept defeat after all the effort. But from the stands, the audience suddenly cheered for Cream and her team, praising their passionate performance, leaving the group both embarrassed and touched. The final interview ended with thanks to the viewers. Win or lose, they all had memorable moments. Everyone posed for a closing shot, full of positive energy. The match ended, but interviews continued. Meanwhile, Bianca's group quietly gathered at the fountain park, carrying a somber mood. Ricorus spoke up to reconcile, saying the important thing was that everyone had grown closer. The atmosphere between the two teams softened. Bianca quietly approached Cream and whispered, "Are you scared? Because we're about to get serious." Cream admitted she had once wanted to quit the game, but the connection with her teammates rekindled a passion she thought was lost. Cream spoke honestly. She didn't like Bianca, but felt they worked well fighting together, and that was what scared her. Cream feared that if she gave her all, she'd feel satisfied even if she lost, and then find the perfect moment to say goodbye. She didn't want that to happen. Bianca smiled, deciding this was the perfect time to pause her gaming journey, and thanked her companion. Sitting together, the two friends looked toward the game world, and Bianca said it was time to return to reality. Bianca confided that not being able to play games as an adult made her sad, but adults understood games more deeply. Recalling her father's words, she realized games held messages that only growing up could fully reveal. When teammates asked about her father's experience, Bianca smiled. Though she knew her playtime would lessen, she still cherished every moment. Bianca laughed heartily and affirmed, "Those who enjoy life to the fullest are the true winners, no matter their age." Cream appeared, causing a stir on Main Street, instantly recognized by crowds of fans after a famous article. Thanks to Kamika's article and the battle broadcast, Cream became a sensation, drawing players from all over Town. Freya, Cream's relative, showed irritation at Cream's popularity, while the girls gossiped about the group's sudden fame. Kamika dragged Cream along a busy schedule, claiming to be her manager, though everyone doubted her true identity. The whole group was stunned to find information about them flooding news outlets, becoming the center of attention in the gaming community. Despite the fame, the group decided to stay grounded, reviewing the match and preparing for the next step without getting swept up in the glamour. They received invitations to a luxury resort atop Onigamine as a reward for reaching the semifinals, access limited to special players only. A mysterious female GM appeared in the forest, watching the group from afar and whispering, "She looks just like me," hinting at an unexplained blood connection. The group arrived at the upscale hot springs resort by Mardu's invitation, celebrating their semi-final spot, a place only chosen players could enter. Bianca was excited thinking about the upcoming onsen experience, quietly humming Doki Doki Onsen Tilda with innocent anticipation. As they prepared to enter the hot springs, Freya naturally took the lead, making Bianca awkward and panicked about the communal changing room. Bianca worried it would be embarrassing if other female players showed up, while Freya assured her only their group would see each other. Blushing when asked if she felt shy, Bianca accidentally mentioned Kurenai, making both of them even more flustered. While relaxing in the water, Freya noticed Cream seemed distracted. Something was deeply troubling her. Freya and two other female demons chatted while relaxing, as Bianca hid her face underwater out of embarrassment and was teased about her face. Freya reassured Bianca that she still had potential and encouraged her not to lose heart thinking about the upcoming battle and swordsman selection ritual. One of the two female demons expressed admiration for Bianca's fighting style, though she was still teased as a kid because of her petite appearance. Although uninterested in guild advantages, Freya was excited when talking about the battle festival, but Bianca blushed as Freya got a bit too close. The group began discussing the upcoming semifinals yet to be announced. Freya said she would help if Bianca needed it. The topic shifted to a new skill called X-Drive. Bianca was surprised to see X-Drive mysteriously appear in the skill list. Though unclear what it was, she and Freya decided to explore it together. Hearing that Ryunosuke and 2 friends were arriving soon, Bianca's group decided to leave the hot springs to welcome them and prepare dinner. The whole group gathered around a lavish banquet table filled with giant dishes. Everyone was excited by the festive atmosphere. The meal was lively. Freya kept teasing, while Kamika suggested reviewing the semi-final match and analyzing it to prepare for battle. The group focused on discussing the X-Drive skill, the mysterious new ability that had just appeared in all players' systems. Suddenly, Ana Jingi burst through the door, launching an attack aimed straight at Martu, shouting like in a Yakuza movie, "Leave that life." Tsubakihime stormed into the dojo, shouting loudly, "Today I will definitely be reborn," causing chaos and startling everyone with her realistic rage. After falling back from a missed strike, Tsubakihime was immediately held at swordpoint by Renge, the fox-eared girl, who coldly declared PK means death. Everyone stopped Renge, reminding her that Tsubakihime wasn't a player, and emphasizing this was a place to welcome guests, not to cause trouble. Tsubakihime argued that if Renge hadn't stopped her, she would have defeated Martu, the swordsman she always wanted to learn from, and demanded she keep her promise to take her as a disciple. Martu firmly refused, saying Tsubakihime wasn't suitable for sword training. The girl angrily left, shouting she would never give up her dream of becoming a swordsman. Sitting back down after the meal, Martu found a small charm bag left behind. Renge guessed it belonged to Tsubakihime and advised returning it, while Martu remained cold. Renge was still excited and couldn't sleep, eager to visit Martu's forge despite the late hour. Martu opened her shop to welcome Renge and the white-haired girl, allowing them to freely admire the swords displayed like works of art. Renge marveled at the high-quality swords. The white-haired girl was wary that the shop wasn't locked, but Martu calmly brewed tea, saying thieves here only bring trouble on themselves. While drinking tea, Martu mentioned testing swords on a meat dummy. Renge was asked about her skill development plans after the recent disturbance. Renge admitted causing trouble and expressed her desire to learn defensive skills to protect herself and ease the burden on her sister Freya. Renge proposed using the Shurigari skill to become a temporary tank. Martu agreed, affirming Renge's flexibility and confidence she would excel in the new role. Renge and the white-haired girl discovered a greatsword for sale priced 12 million. Martu casually said she forged it herself, while Renge only had 1,200. That night, Renge sat pondering how to earn money and happened upon the small charm bag, Tsubakihime's item, which she had forgotten to return. The next day, Renge set out to return the charm bag. Inside, she began doubting Tsubakihime's true origins and the Western style of the item. Hearing a cry of pain, Renge recognized Tsubakihime's voice and quickly ran over. She was angry at being teased, while the guards just smiled wryly. Tsubakihime burst into tears, feeling belittled, believing everyone always mocked her. Renge couldn't hold back either, firmly stating, "Bullying is absolutely not allowed." Renge charged forward like a true swordsman, shouting bullying is wrong, and took action against the bullies. Everyone was stunned by this small girl's courage. With the spirit of a righteous samurai, Renge declared she would use her sword to cut down evil. Evil must be eradicated with a single strike. Renge struck hard at 2 bullies, making them cry out in pain. She said punishing bullies was a sacred duty, which stunned Tsubakihime. The 2 attacked tried to justify themselves, but Renge warned that if they repeated it, she would be harsher. A teacher appeared, causing them to panic and flee immediately. The teacher noticed Renge wasn't from the class and asked why she barged in. Tsubakihime quickly defended her, saying Renge meant no harm. The teacher reluctantly accepted the apology since Tsubakihime vouched for her. Afterwards, the 2 girls left together. Tsubaki felt Renge was different today, calmer and more composed than before. Tsubakihime shyly admitted she was younger than her peers and often mistaken for a child. She repeatedly apologized for accidentally offending others. Renge returned the charm bag, making Tsubakihime uneasy but denying it was hers. Her evasive attitude confused Renge. Finally, Tsubakihime admitted she had been helped and introduced herself as the village chief's daughter. "Call me Tsubaki-sama." Renge also introduced herself as Ren. Suddenly, Renge tripped over a crate. Thinking it was retaliation from the bullies before, she shouted, but realized it was just an accident. Tsubakihime used healing magic to treat Renge's scratches. It was the first time Renge saw a demon using magic. Tsubakihime said she was fine and wished Renge well. She left calmly, leaving a strong impression that made Renge whisper, "So cool." Tsubakihime seriously bandaged a giant oni. Martu and Renge just arrived to observe. Tsubakihime's dedication impressed Renge. The oni thanked her and the atmosphere softened. Captain Hong Jayak Ranson appeared, inviting Renge to join the Skill Quest challenge. Martu felt nervous. Renge gripped her wooden sword tightly facing Ranson. Both eagerly declared the start of their quest for power. The match began, with Renj confronting Ranson with high determination. Renj took the initiative to strike quickly to control the pace of the fight. Surprised by Ranson's speed, Renj realized her opponent was faster than expected. Renj missed attacks repeatedly. Ranson's speed prevented her from landing hits. Ranson praised Renj for her keen observation and reflexes despite being overwhelmed. Renj grew confused as she saw no effects or moves. Ranson seemed to be using a hidden skill. Renj made a risky move, circling behind her opponent for a surprise counterattack. Though pressed close, Ranson easily countered and complimented Renj for being better than expected. Renj began to notice how cleverly Ranson moved, dodging attacks with minimal but effective small steps. Ranson declared the warm-up over and prepared for real combat. Mardu and Tsubakiheim worried about physical gap. Renj was pushed face-to-face and despite her speed advantage, was criticized for weak defense and vulnerability to surprise counter. Mardu and Ranson analyzed Renj's weakness. Heavy attacks made her lose balance and exposed opening. Renj realized she had relied on instinct and Mardu's forged sword, but that wasn't enough against an opponent with solid fundamentals. A new character named Cream appeared, Renj's master, surprising and confusing Tsubakiheim. Cream admitted Ranson was very strong but regretted that Renj had to face such technique now, forcing her to accept defeat due to lack of skill. Bitterly, Renj realized she was seen as insufficiently capable and resolved to train harder. The next challenge was Die Hard mode for the semifinal. Renj self-reflected on her lack of defensive skills but was determined to train and focus intensely. Ranson, a master of defense, was described as swinging his sword through fire, making him an extremely tough opponent for Renj. Renj tried to defend but was caught in Ranson's accelerating attack rhythm, unable to keep up. Ranson noticed Renj gradually mimicking her movement, mixed with techniques learned from someone else. Cream, Renj's master, stepped in to observe, showing that Renj always watched her closely and was learning every move. Renj suddenly closed the distance, surprising Ranson as the girl created a safe gap. Mardu judged that Ranson was just toying with a child. Renj was panting, sweating profusely but refusing to give up. In a decisive moment, Renj affirmed to herself she could do it, she could fight to the end. Ranson delivered the final strike, declared the match over, and gently asked if Renj had learned her lesson. Ranson appeared radiant, demonstrating the solid skill and level of a true captain. Renj was knocked away, lying motionless on the floor. The match ended with a clear result. The referee declared Ranson the winner. Onlookers acknowledged Renj's effort, though she was still a child needing more time to mature. Tsubakiheim practiced hard but was still clumsy. A female master encouraged her, saying she had natural talent and should patiently train. General Gianel, Tsubaki's father, appeared proudly, both happy and proud to see his daughter face a strong fighter like Lawson. Tsubaki felt unready to accept the reward, but was soon approached by a mysterious girl named Suzuki who asked to borrow her for a special reason. Still insecure after her defeat, Tsubaki was seen by Suzuki as having potential. Suzuki smiled slyly, hinting at a plot to use her for something. Suzuki took Tsubaki to a secluded place, starting a private conversation and suggesting an idea to acquire Mardu's sword through cooperation. Tsubaki refused to accept Mardu's sword despite gratitude. She recounted her fear of Lawson in battle, reminding her of her mother, once strict in sword training. Tsubaki continued recalling how her mother changed when seeing her fear, from strict to gentle like her current master. Tsubaki shed tears, admitting that what Lawson said was what she always wanted to hear from her master, the reason she refused to rely on a borrowed sword. She called herself weak-hearted but tried to reassure herself, "It's okay, I'm not as bad as I think, even if NPCs won't understand." Tsubaki tried to express her feelings, but Suzuki didn't catch it clearly and just smiled awkwardly. Tsubaki regretted not sounding as cool as she wanted. Tsubaki reflected that NPCs don't even know they're NPCs, like dreamers unaware they're dreaming. She said she had been rejected as Martu's disciple for over a year. Suzuki revealed Martu once said she wouldn't train someone who couldn't wield a sword. Though using tricks to learn, Suzuki realized Martu never intended to take disciples from the start. Tsubaki felt judged as unfit for swordsmithing just because she was the village chief's daughter, but Suzuki insisted she wouldn't give up since swordsmithing was her soul. Suzuki explained that to change others' views, one must change how they see your back, and she wanted Tsubaki to change through her action. Blushing and hesitant, Suzuki offered to forge swords for Tsubaki. They agreed. Suzuki could borrow the forge, and Tsubaki would get an affordable sword while keeping the title Sword Princess. Tsubaki shouted, "I can do it too," officially sealing their cooperation. Both were happy, each getting what they wanted from the other. Martu appeared, sternly refusing to forge swords for Suzuki even in name. Suzuki sulked in disappointment, and Tsubaki hurried to intervene. Tsubaki tried lifting the hammer but couldn't. Martu continued refusing. "No need to force yourself into being a blacksmith." Yet Suzuki remained determined. "I don't see that as impossible." Suzuki loudly cursed Martu while walking, even calling her a drunken worm. Despite anger, she insisted that forging swords herself was the only thing that mattered. Suzuki suddenly realized the truth. Mardu's sword was expensive because it was made from the rare mineral Kyo-juseki, a stone that feels light but becomes incredibly heavy upon impact. Knowing this gem could be mined from Rakurizan Mountain, Suzuki planned to go get some, but was sure others would refuse if she asked just for that reason. Tsubaki unexpectedly grabbed Suzuki's hand, assuring her she would accompany, protect, and support Suzuki's dream. The two girls resolved to climb the mountain together, each motivated by the other's ideal. The next morning, Suzuki and Tsubaki prepared to sneak out of the village. The main gate was heavily guarded, but Tsubaki pointed out an old well that could lead outside. The well actually connected outside the village for emergency. The two girls felt nervous, as if doing something wrong, yet excited that their real journey was beginning. As the girls left, the scene shifted to a women's bath. A white-haired woman was bathing with an acquaintance, discussing the recent events involving Tsubaki and Suzuki. The white-haired girl asked directly if the refusal to train swordsmithing was due to small physique. The other person then shared her origin, a sacred land where demons and humans once coexisted, Ryaihu Oratory. A war broke out between humans and demons, pushing demons out of Ryaihu. The white-haired girl guessed that Tsubaki carried the bloodline of the world-destroying enemy and was rejected for that reason. Meanwhile, outside, Suzuki and Tsubaki worked together to open a heavy wooden gate, finally seeing sunlight. Their true journey to Rakurizan Mountain had begun. Tsubaki felt a rare freedom being outside without her maid following. She said she was very happy and thanked Hinajuku for accompanying. The two girls stopped by a stream, wading and playing in the water, shaking off their fatigue. Tsubaki expression was both pouty and excited, creating a light-hearted atmosphere. Amid the vast natural scenery, Tsubaki and Hinajuku walk hand in hand, beginning their adventure across the white stone mountain, home to precious mineral. Under the moonlight, the two girls sat by the campfire, resting and sharing memories of the day. Tsubaki complained and laughed, recalling their experience in the swamp. They entered the rare gem mine area. Hinajuku hesitated, as if hiding a deeper reason when suggesting to accompany Tsubaki. She resolved to change her image as the week back. The rare mineral expedition began, where friendship deepened and personal goals became clearer.